Coming up on this edition of the EV Revolution Show, Sailun Tires. All right, and welcome to this edition of the EV Revolution Show. My name is Kenneth Bokor, your host, as you know, if you've been following my show. And today is another special episode where I'm out and about scouring the EV marketplace for things that are related to EVs that I think are important for consumers. And I'm very happy to be here at Dynamic Tire in Brampton, Ontario, talking to David Pulla. He's the National Sales Manager for Sailun Tires of Americas. How are you, David?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good,
Thanks.
Oh, hey, listen, thanks very much for taking the time. I know you guys are busy. For those folks who don't know, so I'm familiar with Sailun Tire because I've had a couple of sets before in previous cars, non-EV vehicles, and in fact, on our daughter's car, she's still running a set of the winter Sailuns that I got several years ago. So they're lasting quite well, but I think most of my viewers and watchers aren't going to know who you guys are and why we're talking about EV tires today, because this is new. So maybe David, you could kind of explain to my viewers who Sailun Tire is if they don't know who they are.
For sure. Thank you, Ken. So Sailun Tire, we are the 15th largest tire manufacturer in the world. So we were recently ranked that in 2022, and we've surpassed 2 positions in the last calendar year. So we've jumped from that 17th position up to the 15th. So fantastic achievement on our side, and we have the top 10 in our trajectory over the next 5 years.
Wow.
So exciting times here, obviously new segments in the tire industry like such. So happy to showcase our newest ERange EV here today.
Well, and that's what I wanted to focus on, because I know you guys have been making tires for quite some time. As I mentioned, I go back several years, but the EV market is new. You guys have just launched this ERange, if I got the name right, the ERange, is that right?
ERange EV.
ERange EV tires, just late last year, or last fall, I think, is when you launched them.
So this is actually the official launch. It'll be in marketplace now.
There you go. Right.
But nonetheless, we've been promoting for quite some time. We've been doing a lot of testing North American wide, and proprietary technologies involved that we'll get into shortly. So.
And for folks watching, like, there is a difference in tires, EVs versus non-EVs, right? There's the load rating, there's efficiencies, rolling resistance, all this kind of noise, all this kind of stuff that's much more important to an especially an all-electric owner than it is to a regular car. So maybe we can start by, what have you guys brought to the marketplace? Because this is a new product line for you and a new venture. What have you brought, and why have you gone after this marketplace?
For sure. So ERange EV, it's available in 32 sizes. Again, launching this spring. In Canada, it's going to have a 72,000 kilometer mileage warranty, 2-year road hazard, and a 60-month protection with manufacturing defects and building materials. So we're excited about it. The warranty speaks to our confidence in the products and our brand.
Yeah.
But more importantly, like you said, there is a different need when it comes to tires for the EV segment. And all of that contributes to the weight of the vehicles, the instant torque, the lack of internal combustion engine requires a quiet tire, right? So we need to keep all of these things in mind. We have a proprietary technology that's helped elevate our expertise in this segment. So we call that EcoPoint 3 technology. It's known as liquid phase mixing. And what that does is it takes your conventional tire manufacturing process, where typically the tire is made with dry components, where we've liquefied them. So an analogy that we like to use is the chocolate milk analogy.
Yeah, I watched that video, and I'm not going to put that video here, but I encourage folks to go watch it. But it's a great video because it really simplifies what you guys are doing.
Long story short, when you have a dry mix, it still spreads evenly, but not as uniformly as a liquid phase mixing. So that allows us to enhance the actual quality, longevity, durability, but more importantly, it reduces the rolling resistance in the tire. And that's your #1 factor that will help extend the range.
So that mixture is getting all the compounds and all the materials evenly distributed throughout the entire tire itself.
That's correct.
Which again will help to prolong wear, to cut down on the noise, to improve efficiencies, because you have that even distribution, correct?
Exactly. So the main focus of the liquid phase mixing, we resort to as the triangle when it comes to tires. So you have rolling resistance, you have traction, and you have longevity.
Right. And we need them all.
And
right?
we need them all, right? And no one to date has found that perfect recipe in order to enhance all three at a given time. So typically, when you reduce rolling resistance, you're going to extend the longevity, but you're going to reduce traction.
Right. Okay.
And if you increase traction, you're increasing rolling resistance, but you're actually reducing the lifespan
So you're
of the
kind
tire.
of always giving something up to get.
There's always a
right?
give and take, where liquid phase mixing with our EcoPoint3 technology has allowed us to, maybe not evenly, but allows us to expand all three. So essentially, by reducing the rolling resistance, we've reduced it by up to 15% versus the OE tires on Teslas that we've tested on. And what that equates to
That's
in
huge.
battery ranges, you'll be able to extend your battery by about 7%.
Wow. Okay. Doesn't sound like a lot, but on a 500-kilometer vehicle, 10% is 50, so 7's about 40 or whatever. That's pretty good, just for the tires, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So that is I'm really excited about that because we more competition in the market's good, right? But an additional value I think that people don't know that you guys bring now. You have state-of-the-art manufacturing, and I apologize if any of the noise is picking up, but we're in an active warehouse, so the guys have to work. But that's cool. You guys have state-of-the-art technology for manufacturing, right?
That's correct.
You have the different lines, different types of tires that you guys manufacture are in different plants, or are they all in one area? I know there's some come from China, some from Indonesia. Did I get that right?
So we do have plants in China, Vietnam, Cambodia. The ERange itself is going to be coming out of our Cambodia facility.
Okay, yep.
That's our latest and greatest state-of-the-art.
Yeah, brand new, right? Pretty
in
well.
terms of the robotics in there, it's industry leading. And so Sailun Group is actually founded by Mesnac. And Mesnac Robotics is an industry leader. They were actually the tire industry supplier of the year in 2021 in terms of building robotics and machineries. And we have a ton of content that we can share with the followers and any of our subscribers here that can further develop their knowledge on what goes into building a tire.
So on top of that, you got the state-of-the-art, you've got this new manufacturing process that you've patented, a newer tire specifically designed for the EV market. Again, it has the load rating, usually an XL load rating for the weights, has the low noise, and some early reviews that I've seen, people are saying, wow, it really does dramatically sound a lot less. For sure. From a noise perspective. Handling is right there with everything else that's in the marketplace. And then I think, the best characteristic, I guess, that I can say is that you guys are coming with all this advanced technology at a really good price point.
Yeah, we are. And you nailed it on the head in terms of tire changeovers and the seasonality. The tire is going to perform well in all conditions.
Sure, yeah.
When it comes to the handling and the performance of the tire, I've personally been able to test them, and you're going to be impressed. The consumers are going to be impressed. They're very responsive. They're very quiet. And they react accordingly to your driving habits. So in terms of the performance, all of the speed ratings, the load index are all going to be parallel and in line with what the EVs in the market would call for. And as new EVs come to market, our team and our product engineers and product segment managers are continually reviewing the market, and will ensure that the tire is available with the appropriate speed and load index.
Yeah, and most of the testing, as you mentioned, David, has been done on Model 3s, on Tesla vehicles, right? So, you're taking kind of the leading EV out there that's very performance oriented, especially the all-wheel drive dual motor versions of those vehicles. They have a lot of pep to them, and putting them through the test. And, we know, Tesla owners know that they handle extremely well. So to be able to increase that handling capability and encourage it, not faster driving, but encourage better handling, is certainly a plus. Now, these, as you mentioned, the launches this spring. They'll be available all across North America from, I guess, a vast dealer network, correct?
So you want to visit erangetires.com. There's a tire finder on there. There's a dealer locator, and you can search whether you're south of the border or north of the border. We'll find a dealer near you to help satisfy the needs of the EV tires.
And sizes, so they'll be offered in a multiple range of sizes, correct? And configurations?
Up to 8, from 16 to 22 inch.
Okay.
And there's a variety of sizes available. So it's covering all of your Teslas. 80% of the market is covered at this point.
Right, and it's not just Teslas that you've obviously tried these on, other EVs, you know, standard range and stuff?
Right now, our president of North America is driving a Hyundai Kona EV, and he's actually been testing them. And
nice.
He's been an integral part of the development of the tire and testing, and he's been driving on them throughout the seasons as well. And it's helped lead to the end product that we have here today.
Excellent. And I mentioned, you know, about the cost being very affordable, especially nowadays and with inflation, and everybody's looking at, you know, how can I save a couple of bucks? And, you know, from my understanding in previous, you know, dealings with buying your tires, that I'm getting very good quality tires at, you know, a third or maybe just about half of what a competitor's tire may be. Is that still kind of the same for these, roughly?
So, given the new technologies and the advancements that we've made, they are priced slightly above where our typical product mix is, but nonetheless, we are still focused on delivering high quality product at an affordable price point. So with that said, when we look at all the tier ones and the majors out there, we're typically falling in that 75 to 80% of their price points.
Nice, nice. So hey, you know, saving a few dollars is worth it without compromising, you know, again, handling, capabilities, and performance of the tires. That's certainly important. Well, listen, I'm really thankful that you allowed me to come down and have a chat with you and talk about these. I know you guys are at the car show. You guys are doing lots of stuff out there to promote these tires, so I certainly encourage the viewers to check you guys out. Now, the second part of this video, I'm going to be getting a set put on my vehicle, my Model 3, in about 2 weeks or so, just waiting for winter to kind of end, which will be around the end of March. So you'll see the next part of this video coming up in a few seconds will be me kind of doing a review of these tires after I've driven them for a bit. So I'm going to put them through some of the paces. I'm pretty familiar with what I've already got that came from the factory, the stock tires. They are worn now, so I do need to change the tires anyway. So I'm pretty familiar with how they handle, how the noise is, and that kind of capability. So I'll definitely be able to have a pretty fair and objective viewpoint as much as I can on these tires. So I'm excited to be looking for that. Any final thoughts to the viewing audience about what you guys have brought and what you're going?
Yeah, thank you for taking the time for watching this today, and we're excited to see the ERange EV hit the market, and you won't be disappointed in the driving.
Excellent. I look forward to it. All right, so let me get these tires on the car and start driving and tell you what it sounds like and give you my impression. All right, so I'm here at my friends at Cal Tire where I get my tires changed, and they're going to do the changeover for me to take my winters off and put the Sailun ERange tires on. As you can see, there goes the Tesla into the shop. So then I'll be able to drive it for a few days and give you my impressions of what I think of the tire. Just some early impressions of these tires so far as I just left the Cal Tire there and just on my way to work. They are really quiet. I don't hear them at all, I have to admit. In fact, I'm more cognizant now of the wind noise, what little there is, than there was road noise. Obviously, I had snow tires on, so they're going to be louder because they're grippier, softer tires. So they're always traditionally louder, and now I've done the swap, so it's always a bit of a sensory change when you go from the winters to the all seasons or summers because of the noise and not necessarily the ride, but certainly the noise. So these are, so far, these are really quiet, and I know that the Michelin premises, the stock OEM tires, are fairly quiet as well. There's always a noticeable difference, but these ones seem, boy, definitely just as quiet. It's hard to say if they're quieter, because that's always very judgmental. It's everybody's sensory perception is a little different, but they are very quiet because I'm hearing the motors in my Model 3, which I always hear. I'm hearing some bit of wind noise. It's a little bit of a windy day today, so I'm hearing that creep in a little bit. And you know, typical noise in your Tesla, right? They're not the most soundproofed vehicles, and noise deadening materials that Tesla uses for this. We'll just go through here. But yeah, these are really quiet, so I'll keep driving, and then I'll add some more comments to this. But so far, so good. All right, so as I continue to review these Sailun tires, I'm back at this is a really good test of the water capable handlings of these tires in the rain. We've got some pretty good downpours happening today in the Toronto area, and I'm on the highway speeds, and I've had no issues with traction or hydroplaning. There have been a few puddles that you hit when you're kind of
that tend to build up on the shoulders. I mean, I'm not talking about going through anything too monstrous, but normal type of process under this rain. It's been raining all morning quite heavily, and we've got very strong winds today as well, some wind warnings. So it's hard to tell just based on the footage that you're seeing with my car rolling down the highway, but it's not taking me much effort steering with one hand. It's very easy to steer this vehicle and to handle even with some crosswinds and all this water. It's not being thrown around and mishandling in any way. A lot of the video that I've put into this video, you see Sailun testing in a lot of water conditions on Model 3. So their ability to evacuate the water in the tire is really good, because that's what you want to, so that you don't get to a state of hydroplaning. You want to be able to get that water out of the channels in the tire as fast as possible. Obviously there's a limit, and that's where you hit hydroplaning, but these are doing a really good job under these circumstances. Again, it's been raining all morning, lots of water on the roads, being blown around, and doing a great job. And again, even though it's windy today and you can hear that wind noise, the tires themselves are still relatively quiet. I don't hear a lot of tire noise on this highway at all. It's mainly the wind noise and the speed. So good job on that capabilities. I'll give you my final thoughts coming up. All right, so 40, quickest I could get up to in this short run. So not a true, and obviously, but it's going to give us a good idea of how these tires handle. Now, you're in the car with me on this particular run. You're hearing what I hear. Everything's off. In fact, I'll turn the fan off inside here so we have perfect silence. And you'll hear if these tires slip, right? They'll make a noise. They'll make some sort of noise if they lose some grip here. There's no question about that. All right, let's go one more time. See how fast I can go. I'll just kind of nail it here. 55. So I went up to 50 kilometers an hour before I had to make that turn. I think that's pretty good. Tires reacted instantaneously. No loss of grip on those. They bit really nice, and they did what they're supposed to do. So I like that. All right, let's get to some wrap up here and give you my final thoughts. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this information on Sailun tires and some of my thoughts and observations while driving this tire, and also just a quick testing as much as I can do in my limited space and budget, of course, trying to put this through some of its paces. As you've seen by a lot of the B-roll and promotional video that was supplied to me by Sailun, and a video from other people that are testing these tires, they are working very well. I'm really impressed with these tires. They're a little dirty because we've had a lot of rain, of course, yesterday driving around and all that rain, but they are a nice looking tire and they seem to be handling really well. And I really love the fact that they're quiet. They are super quiet. If I haven't mentioned that already about 5 times in this video. So definitely something to be thinking about if you're looking to switch tires, or if you need to change tires this year. The OEM tires, the normal, or the ones that were used to OEM tires, can get very expensive.
for a good set of tires here in Canada for your Model 3 for all seasons, they could run you anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. And pricing isn't out yet on the Sailun ERange, but I do expect them to be lower than that, maybe 20-30% lower, as you heard from my interview with David. Good tires. I can tell you, you saw that video that I took driving on the highway yesterday in the rain. Well, a little bit longer, a little bit later on that video, which I wasn't recording. When I got off the highway, I was making a left turn, trying to catch that light on from the off ramp onto a regional road, a 6-lane road actually. And I had the green light, so I made that left turn actually kind of aggressive, faster than I would normally do it. Let's just say that, folks. And these tires held perfectly. There was no give on the rear end a little bit, no sliding at all, no loss of grip when I did that turn faster than I should have in that pouring rain. They just held the road. So again, I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend going crazy on these tires because there are going to be limits. But just to show you, if I would have had my snow tires on still, I would have lost a little traction. In fact, I would have slid a little bit, almost drifted a little bit, just you know, a few inches when I got to the apex of that turn. So I could definitely feel the difference, and that caught me by surprise because I actually expected these to slip a little bit doing something like that. So really good. I wouldn't race on these tires. They're not track tires, but they're definitely great for all season. Again, if you're going to be in heavy winter climates, I always recommend getting a good set of winter tires because they are going to perform much better than all seasons. But for those climates that have minimal amounts of snow and are good the rest of the year, these are great tires for all season, all around tires. I'll keep tabs on the wear function of these because again, I don't know how they're going to wear. I'm going to be riding these now till probably November, early December time frame. Then I'll get my tire switch. So I'll take a measurement now of what the tread depth is, and then I'll log that, and I'll take another one a few months later and compare it. And if there's anything more than normal wear and tear, I'll bring it up on a future episode. But again, in closing, I would definitely consider the Sailun ERange tires. These are specifically made for all-electric vehicles. They've been doing a ton of testing on Teslas. That's kind of the benchmark that they've been testing on. They've got these tires on Audis, on e-trons, on Porsches, on other cars as well, so definitely check them out. They're not OEM tires, so you won't see these tires come with cars that you buy new, but they are a great aftermarket purchase if you want to get a second set of tires for whatever reason, or when your tires, your original OEMs, wear down like mine did, the Michelins, then this is a great cost alternative offering to those major OEMs, but without sacrificing ride, noise, and handling. So very good Sailun, excellent job. So thanks very much for watching this edition of the EV Revolution show. I got to get back inside. It's windy and it's cold today, and now planes are flying over, so that's my sign to get back in. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you have any questions, send me an email. All my contact information is coming up at the end of the show, so keep watching and you'll see all that stuff come up. And until the next episode, hope everybody continues to stay safe, and I will see you when I see you. Take care and bye-bye.